The only thing that's not there that has to be a part of it is the penalties. Yeah, I think that's.
Once again, everybody, Vin Scully along with John Madden, halftime at RFK, no score in the ball game. I have a question. Is it true that you're planning to give all this up and remake all of Fred Astaire's old movies?
No, I don't think I'll do. No, I
right.
think I'll stay out of that. I love this too much. I love this football.
Okay, what about this half game that we have seen? Do you still love football?
Well, defense. If you like defense and you like low-scoring games, you could. If you like offense, maybe it's been a little more offensive than it has been offensive.
Yeah, right. It has been. You can take a look at some of the painful numbers here, and the stats telling a little bit of a story anyway.
Well, the thing is, the Giants, we see, only had one first down. Now, that's tough to play a whole half and only have one first down. They don't have much rushing or passing. The Redskins, they had some movement, but they've had a lot of bad things happen to them. Turnovers, penalties. They just haven't gotten going.
This would be an excuse, I guess, but it could be applicable to both teams. Would the heat have anything to do with it? I think it's about 92 degrees here in Washington.
I don't think so, because the defense is playing in the same heat. Someone has to beat someone.
And they train, certainly the Redskins train over in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. It gets just as hot there all summer.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
So that's not an excuse. It's scoreless. The crowd is unhappy. The people in New York were unhappy with the Giants last week, and you should see them here in Washington. Theismann asking for silence, and he got booed for it.
He got booed for it. At halftime, they went off the field, and they got booed for that. And, of course, I think that, they don't have to listen to that. What they have to do is get some offense going. They have to get something going.
We were wondering, and you remarked about penalties, and here will give you an idea. There have been 15 penalties, and it's almost equal. The Giants one more penalty, so they have 12 more yards, but the 15 penalties in the first half.
It's really been a sloppily played first half, because you take the turnovers that we've had, you take the penalties that we've had, the drop passes, and you add all that together, and it's a very frustrating first half for all of us, and let's hope that we get a better one this half.
All right, John. Both clubs refreshed, hopefully, and ready to do battle in this second half. No score in the ball game. The Giants in Washington coming off losses last week. The Giants bowing to Philadelphia, and Washington losing, although they were rather emotional, they tell us, last week, and played much better against Dallas. And of course, each club felt that they were playing an equal team today. Well, they have been equal in frustration, certainly. No score at the start of the second half. John, in looking back over the first half, would you say the teams have followed whatever information you brought to the ballpark? Have they tried to do what they were talking about, or are they forced to leave game plan?
No, I think they've stayed with their game plan. The Redskins on offense wanted mixture. They're getting that. They wanted to pound Riggins. They're getting that. The Giants wanted to go for some deep ones, and they've done that, but they haven't had any success, mainly because of the corners, Joe Lavender and Lamar Parrish, and really the Giant outside receivers haven't beaten the Redskin defense.
We have seen the punters being so very busy in the first half, and this game could very well wind up in the hands of the place kickers, Mosley and Danello. And Mark Mosley will be kicking off. Leon Bright is deep. On his right is Lewis Jackson, and on his left is Mike Dennis. And we're a moment or two away from the kickoff opening up the second half. Here we go. Leon Bright just about from the goal line to the 10, to the 20. And sandwiched among others who hit him was little Virgil Say. At 5'7", he was in on the tackle, number 80. And the Giants will put it in play when they spot it out at about the 28-yard line. So Mark Mosley has been pretty much unemployed today. He did try a 50-yard field goal early in the game, but it was no good. So 1st and 10 on the Giant 28, and we'll see what they come up with now. Bo Matthews is in there with Doug Coder. Mike Freedy comes right. Ernest Gray goes left. Gary Shirk is the tight end on the left side. And they'll go to Coder. And Coder brings it out just about to the 35-yard line.
These are some of the things that the Giants probably talked about at halftime, and the Redskins did. You know, what they want to get going this half. They have the Polaroids to look at, the charts, and now they'll come out with how they want to attack in the second half.
2nd and 3 on the Giant 35-yard line. Freedy and Gray in a slot right. Doug Coder, and Coder is out just about to the 40-yard line, which is enough for the first down. John, are you tempted?
And then what will work?
The Giants with a first down on their own 40-yard line, and Sims with time now, passing to Shirk, and it's broken up by Tony Peters. He had his tight end, Gary Shirk, down to the Washington 40-yard line, but Tony was there.
You know, again, we give a lot of credit to this Redskin defense, primarily the secondary, because in the whole first half, I don't think that I've really seen a wide receiver open, or a receiver, including the tight end, which wasn't in that last play.
Well, it'll be 2nd and 10 on the 40-yard line. No score, just the start of the third quarter. Ernest Gray right, Mike Freedy left. Second man, Doug Coder, up the hill and down the other side to about the 43-yard line. Butts and Olkowitz providing part of the mountain that he had to climb. There's Sims' numbers, 20 yards, 1 interception.
You know, you get a young quarterback like Sims in his 3rd year, and the one thing that's easy to say and hard to do is say, forget about it. Forget about what happened. Just go in there and start all over again. But again, that's easy to say and hard to do sometimes.
3rd and 7 on the Giant 43. In motion is Johnny Perkins. And out of the shotgun, Sims buying a little time to get away from Lorch. And the pass is complete to about the 46-yard line to Johnny Perkins. And that should be enough for the first down. Let's see. If they mark it. Well, let's see.
Look at Lamar Parrish was standing there. He thought the ball was going to him.
Somebody, I think, threw a punch, huh? Watching Ben Dryce.
Looks like a hook, and that usually has something to do with the head. You know, the NFL has gone into to do away with injuries and help prevent. One of them is not letting anyone hit anyone in the head.
Well, we saw Ben. Now we'll hear.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 54. That's a first down.
And that would be Kevin Turner.
Now watch him. Of course, Kevin Turner was with the Giants, and usually, yep, it was right after, and it looked like he started upstairs. You know, that's one thing that they're very tight on, is anyone hitting anyone else in the head.
Well, they spotted on the Washington 31. Great penetration now for the Giants on the completion and the penalty. And a reverse with Johnny Perkins, and he's knocked down by Matt Mendenhall. Mendenhall was on injured reserve last year. Look at this handoff.
Watch here, we see he doesn't have a chance. He just gets started. Mendenhall didn't go at all. You hope on a reverse you start flow one way, you hope that the line pursues. Mendenhall didn't. He came up the field in containment and said, welcome, Perkins.
So they lose 11 on that end around from Coder to Perkins. It is now 2nd and 21 on the Washington 42. No good. Intended for Mike Freedy. And breaking it up is Joe Lavender.
Joe Lavender is one of the underrated players in this league. He's a great corner, and people talk about Lamar Parrish, who is equally great, but when we see Joe Lavender again, I don't see that anyone has beaten these corners today.
And of course, Joe Lavender is another part of that San Diego State connection, as we see Green Bay has connected to lead Atlanta 14-0 in the third quarter. 3rd and 21 from the Washington 42. Sims out of a shotgun with Perkins in motion. Sims deep to Perkins, no good, and triple coverage with White, Murphy, and Peters on top of it.
When you only send one person deep, that's going to happen, and the ball draws a crowd, and one deep person also does.
Now the Rams stung. They were down 16-0, and they're starting to kick up their heels to make it a ball game. And Houston in a battle of field goals, leading Cleveland 6-3. Tony Fritsch counting for that. That's Mike Nelms, and that's Dave Jennings. Jennings punting from the Giant 45. Nelms on the Skins 10, and Dave trying to arrow it out of bounds. And it will go out of bounds at about, we'll watch the placement, somewhere around the 20-yard line.
Jennings is trying to help the referee. You see, the referee stays behind Jennings, and he directs the other official.
Well, didn't you try to help the officials, John, in your inimitable way?
I did a lot of directing myself.
Yes. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
30 seconds away, 30.
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds, stand by.
Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS, San Francisco at Atlanta, Washington at St. Louis. That'll be seen in the nation's capital. New Orleans at New York. That'll be seen in the Big Apple. And Green Bay, Los Angeles, seen in most of the country. That's shaping up to be quite a battle. Theismann down, then it's dropped by Kelly. Brian Kelly had it and couldn't hold on to it because he's been hitting him with one hand, and we got him with two. He couldn't hold it.
I think if I were Joe Theismann, I would look for number 55, Brian Kelly, and throw the opposite way. As we see him here, we see up in the top, we watch Monk coming in. Now, who's been the problem? Right there all day, Brian Kelly. And that one he almost had for a touchdown.
He sure did. Go to 2nd and 10 on the Skins 17-yard line. Wilbur Jackson and Terry Metcalf release. Theismann down the right side, and Art Monk makes a big catch, taking it away from Haynes at the 30-yard line before Kelly finally knocks him out of bounds.
I think that's what Theismann said. Kelly plays in the middle. He thinks, I'm going to get the ball away from him. Watch here, we see Monk up on top. See, he gets bumped. That's okay after 5 yards. Now he drives the ball up the field. He just kind of stops, works back to the quarterback and the sideline, and look at those hands up in the air. Whap.
Kelly finally hitting him head on, but it's a first down on the Washington 31-yard line. In motion is Terry Metcalf, so Wilbur Jackson is the setback, and he'll carry the football out to about the 34, so he might have picked up 3 yards, make it 2nd and 7.
Again, neither one of these teams they really haven't done well passing either, but the running hasn't been a dominant factor. There hasn't been where they could just take it and drive it and pound and mix, and they just get a little started and then boom, they lose it.
No score. 2nd and 7 on the 34-yard line. Monk going wide right. Ricky Thompson wide left. And they'll go with Metcalf. And Metcalf trips and goes down across the 35-yard line. He was following his guard, Melvin Jones, number 61.
And
Somebody pulled the rug out.
And no one blocked Brad Van Pelt. That was the thing. You know, they've been trying to get outside, you know, to the right side, and they just haven't been able to hand Van Pelt. He's been there every time they run a sweep to that side.
So 3rd and 5 as the Giant defense trying to bottle up Washington. The ball on the Skin 36-yard line. Monk is left, Thompson right. And Theismann throwing to Metcalf, and Harry Carson brings him down across the 40-yard line. That should be just about enough for the first down.
Yeah, but there's a flag on that one, and I'm sure it'll go against the Redskins and come back. They're really getting frustrated now, the Redskins. We see Taylor come in, put the pressure on Theismann, still got the ball outside. Carson was right there at the catch.
So that'll be about the 17th penalty this far. What's the most penalties you ever saw in a game you were involved in? Any stick out in your mind, John?
I don't remember. We played Pittsburgh once, and we had a lot of them, and they had a lot of them. And again, as long as we both had about the same, that wasn't bad.
And that's the way it was here. In the first half, I think it was Giants 8 penalties and the Skins 7 penalties, so they're pretty close.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask, pulling the man down, number 67 on the offense.
Now, there's where we see the 15-yard penalty on a face mask. We see the one, if they just touch it, that's a 5-yard penalty. But when they grab it and they pull them down, then that'll be a 15-yard.
But Jerry Scanlon was guilty of the infraction, and it'll be 3rd and 21. There's Jerry. He's from the University of Hawaii. 3rd and 21 on the Washington 21. Theismann over the middle, and he's got Ricky Thompson. First ball he's had a chance to catch today, and he's going to be dragged down at the 20-yard line by Harry Carson. I was wondering when Ricky was going to get a look, and he finally got it. No flags.
There's no flags, Vin, and that's not only the first pass that he caught today, it's the first pass he caught this season. He didn't catch one last week, but again, right between the linebackers and the secondary. Beasley Reese was there. He should have made the tackle.
Now watch Harry Carson, number 53, finally nail him. Gotcha.
And he tried to knock the ball out as he did. You get a lot of fumbles that way when you hit him from behind.
1st and 10 on the Giant 22. That play covered 58 yards. Monk and Say in a slot right. They'll stay on the ground with Terry Metcalf. And Metcalf buried right at the 20-yard line. Underneath the pile, Brian Kelly. And he had a lot of help.
Wilbur Jackson came out on that play, and he cut Lawrence Taylor, and they were able to cut to the inside of him. But again, the Giant pursuit was right there to stop the run.
So it'll be 2nd and 7 on the 19. Let's see, Doug Coder has carried 9 times for 32 yards. Metcalf has carried 5 times for 20 yards. There really hadn't been any outstanding running. Riggins 6 carries for 28 yards. 2nd and 7 on the Giant 18 with Monk in motion. And he's got Monk, and Haynes hanging on at the 15-yard line. Finally drops him at about the 14-yard line. That should make it about a 3rd and 2.
You're talking about Riggins. We haven't seen him in a while, and I wonder if John Riggins was injured.
There he is with a towel, and look at his right knee.
Yep. It's hard to play with that on.
To say the least.
That's why we haven't seen him.
The ball is spotted at the 15-yard line, so it makes it 3rd and 3 for Washington. It is their deepest penetration of the day. Thompson and Monk slot left. McCrary is the tight end on the right side. It's to Monk, and Van Pelt hits him and brings him down just inside the 10-yard line. A pickup of 5, and that's a first down.
What they're doing here, they're working underneath. They're getting Monk on the last 2 plays. They drive with the other receivers deep into the end zone, and they have Monk working across to the outside and underneath the linebackers.
Well, it'll be first and goal from the 9-yard line. 6:35 left in the third. No score. Monk and Thompson slot left, only this time Thompson is in the slot. Wilbur Jackson straight ahead. Jackson actually bumped into his own man, Jerry Scanlon. He hit his own tackle almost head on.
And we've talked about Jerry Scanlon. He's playing in there now for Russ Grimm, and maybe Russ Grimm did hurt that knee more serious than we thought. You know, this is the toughest area to pass. Once you get inside that 10-yard line, passing is very, very difficult, and a big tight end becomes very important in this area, and also a running game.
Well, let's see. The tight end is Greg McCrary on the right side. It is 2nd and 6, 2nd and goal from the 6. Terry Metcalf trying to get outside, and Lawrence Taylor is too quick for him. Boy, you really got to like that kid.
You do, you know, and the more experience that he gets, he'll be tougher and tougher, except on the blitz.
I was going to ask you,
They
because
always calm down on the blitz. Watch him here. He'll come right here up to the outside. You're not going to get outside of me, Metcalf. Boom, take that right around the ankle.
I was wondering, will he still play with this reckless abandon maybe 2 years from now?
No, they never do. The more experience they get, the less effective they are as blitzing, because they learn more things that can happen to them, and they look out for things.
3rd and goal from the 6. That's Art Monk in motion to the right. Theismann going in the middle to Ricky Thompson, and he is over. Ricky Thompson, the kid out of Baylor, who set a Southwest Conference record for the long jump. So he's a great athlete, and watch him bull it over, John.
You see, he comes from the inside. He lined up in tight like a tight end. They got the back to the outside of him, and he just ran a slant inside. And he didn't catch a pass all last week or until now.
He's 2 for 2 today. Mosley's kick is good, and finally, we get a touchdown. With 4 minutes and 52 seconds left in the third quarter. Washington 7 and the Giants nothing.
Tony? Yeah, Joe Washington is down there on the sideline. He has his jersey on, but he doesn't have any shoulder pads on. He was the guy that was congratulating him coming off. And there's someone else down there with a T-shirt on and his shoulder and a sling or something. If we can get, yeah, there's Washington, but
Oh yeah.
okay, they probably, oh no, right on the 50, right behind the 50. That may be Monty Coleman. See, he's walking, he has his arm in a sling and a T-shirt over it. He's right next to Washington now. He's going to the bench, talking to Metcalf.
Stand by. 5 seconds.
With 4 minutes and 52 seconds left in the third quarter, Washington leading the Giants 7-0. Mark Mosley teeing it up at the 35. Leon Bright is the deep man. On his right is Jackson, and on his left is Dennis. And Bright will take it at the goal line. To the 10, to the 20, to the 30, to the 35, and almost got away. Clarence Harmon caught him from behind, or he might have broken that one.
Okay, now we have a little offense starting here. A little return. We have a touchdown. Maybe we'll get something going here.
It took 7 minutes, but Washington finally did it. in 11 plays, going 82 yards, 2 big passes to Ricky Thompson, the second one with a touchdown. There was also a key reception by Art Monk, and finally the touchdown pass to Thompson. So now let's see about the Giants. They have it 1st and 10 on their own 37, a very good return. In motion is Ernest Gray. Doug Coder goes down. Neil Olkowitz grabbed him and brought him down at about the 37.
Really, the Redskins, the Giants maybe can get something going now. The Redskins are playing without Monty Coleman, number 51. He has a broken bone in his shoulder. He's there on the sideline in a sling. And, you know, they have different young linebackers in there, and maybe they can get a little work going here.
Well, we'll see on a 2nd and 9 what Phil Simms can come up with. Gray out of the slot goes in motion. Freedy's on the right. Staying on the ground, and Doug Coder is knocked down by Dave Butts. Boy, at 6'7", is he something? And he's reminding Coder, cool it.
Yeah, he's just telling him, thanks for coming in here so I can make a tackle. Dave Butts said last week against Dallas they didn't get any penetration on defense. They were reading and standing on the line. They wanted to get in the backfield, take off, make something happen, and we just saw him do it.
There is Monty Coleman, and they've already lost Rich Malott. So a couple of valuable linebackers have been shelled as far as Washington is concerned. Simms out of the shotgun on a 3rd and 11. Going down the left side, a comebacker to Freedy, who made the reception and stepped out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Good for the 1st down. Big play.
I'll tell you, Simms had to get rid of that. We'll watch it again. He throws it before Freedy breaks. You see, there's Joe Lavender. Again, right on him, playing tight press coverage. He can hit him the first 5. He stops, a little hand up. Now they both stop, work back for the ball. Freedy beats him right there. Simms threw the ball before Freedy turned.
He's coming back from knee surgery. Are they going to use him a lot, do you think, John? They're going to use Coder a lot, and he's stacked up at the line. And a flag on the play.
I think they'll use him a lot, but I don't think he's at 100% effective right now. I don't think he's 100% effective, and he may not be all year. We may see him normal again next year.
Is there a coach's philosophy on, let's say, a wide receiver coming back from knee surgery?
I think you have to take your time. They won't be the same after knee surgery the first year back. But if you're patient with them, usually in that 2nd year, they're
holding
back to normal.
offense number 68.
That's J.T. Turner playing guard on the left side. Meanwhile, Green Bay, boy, that's a shocker, a 45-yard field goal by Jan Stenerud. It's 17-0. Bart Starr and the Packers.
The shocker is that Atlanta hadn't scored a touchdown. They have a lot of tools there.
That's 1st and 10. Add 10 more. 1st and 20. And Simms right through Ernest Gray's hands. He had not only a 1st down at the Washington 40, he would have almost busted that one.
I'll tell you, that has to be. Did you see Phil Simms just throw his arm like that? You know, last week he had 6 drop passes. And that really, you know, it's hard enough. That's what he's saying. Look, we've gotten Butts there. We finally get him blocked. We don't have anything coming up the middle so I can throw it. Zoom, I see Gray in the middle. Throw it. Look, it hits him right in the hand. Geez, you have to catch those kind.
Of course, he had one last week in the end zone that appeared to go through his hands. So Ernest Gray, who caught 4 touchdown passes in one game last year, is struggling today, and the biggest opportunity he'll have. Washington leading 7-0, 3rd quarter.
Oh, that's.
Oh.
You know, it's tough enough to, you know, without having that happen.
Look at him walking around out there.
Where's Gray?
He's there. He was all alone on the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
He's back now.
40 seconds away. 40.
On what?
That's a nice shot, Jerry.
Yeah, well, what can we do? second down call, 2nd and 20. The ball on the Giant 38. And Sims will go to the shotgun, trying to recover from that drop by Ernest Gray. Johnny Perkins in motion to the right. Sims too high that time, intended for Gray with Lamar Parrish on him.
And Lamar Parrish was really on him all the way. You know, probably of all the corners in this league. Now watch Lamar Parrish in the inset there. Watch him bump. See, he can do that the first 5 yards. He doesn't let Gray off. He also takes away the inside. He doesn't let him to the inside. He also gets his left arm in there when the ball's coming.
Is that a bit of psychology to go to the man who dropped the pass on the previous play?
It probably is, but you shouldn't force it there. I wouldn't force it. That was forced.
3rd and 20 on the Giant 38. Johnny Perkins right. And it's to Perry, and he is necktied by Mel Kaufman, and there are flags in the backfield.
Well, there's a flag on the line. I think this will be some type of double penalty. I know that one is holding against the Giants. The other one is something that happened downfield here. So we have a little double dipper.
2:56 left in the 3rd quarter. 7-0 Washington.
Holding number 68 on the offense. Lined up in the neutral zone, 75 on a defense. We're going to play it over.
All right, Ben, play it over we will. J.T. Turner was caught holding. Mike Clark, the rookie, was lined up in the neutral zone. You know, the Giants like the shotgun and Washington doesn't. The Giants, as you can see, are not setting the world on fire with it. 2 for 8, 23 yards. However, that one pass that Gray dropped would have made that figure a little more respectable immediately.
Would have made the shotgun have a bullet in it, or whatever you call it. A shell. I guess you put shells in a shotgun.
3rd and 20 from the 38 of the Giants. Perkins in motion. And Sims looking, and throwing through the hands of Johnny Perkins, who takes a lick from Tony Peters.
Again, that was, you know, we talked about the shotgun. That was one of the reasons that the Giants liked the shotgun, not the incomplete pass. But the quarterback can be back, and he can run upfield when the rush is coming. There goes Nelms now. He'll have to return this one, Ben. This one won't go over his head.
Mike Nelms standing on the Washington 10. Look at Jennings punting for the 8th time with a 50-yard average. What a punter. So Metcalf is the short man at the 15-yard line. And Jennings gets it away. And Mike Nelms making the reception. Got away from McLaughlin. Juggles it. The Giants are going to recover. Frank Marion picked it up at the 15. And Marion is dropped down at about the 13-yard line. And there is a flag on the play.
Right. There has to be a flag, but that was after Nelms caught the ball, so I'm sure that they'll keep the ball, that the Giants will. Now that's where the cast can hurt. He can catch the ball, but in trying to run with it and handle it is very difficult. But it will be the Giants' ball, first down. Now watch him right here. You see, he has the ball. He tries to shift it to his left hand, and when he does, it just pops right out, and he can't do anything about it with the right hand, and the left hand can't get it.
We were just talking about that earlier, about how he had to carry the ball left-handed, and Frank Marion was right there to fall on it. A linebacker was in perfect position. So there is a tremendous break. If it goes the Giants' way, official interpretation.
There's an illegal block on a receiving team during the run back. The kicking team got the fumble. It's the kicking team's ball going the other way.
I'll say one thing. When Ben Drive explains something, he explains it as if it has been passed by Congress and the Senate.
Ben Drive does a good. I think Ben would like to maybe come up here and spend a little time. He has a nice delivery there.
And the Giants have a nice delivery. They have 1st and 10 on the 13 with Washington leading 7-0.
I don't know if they will. This is where I think, you know, it's one of those things, Tony, you have to get the ball somehow to a tight end or someone in tight and passing, or they'll try and run to that left side, but they haven't had much success there.
I love it. I get off after working all week to be able to pick the guy up on the fumble recovery. You know,
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah.
I just love it. makes my whole week. Oh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Sam wants you.
He and I used to get into, you know, he was an old AFL official. He and I used to get into some great.
Mike Nelms fumbles, recovered by Frank Marion of the Giants. The Giants 1st and 10 on the Washington 13-yard line. 2:33 left in the third, 7-0 Washington. Freedy goes right with Perkins in a slot. Gary Shirk is the tight end on the left side. Billy Taylor is back in there. Sims looking left over the middle to the tight end, Gary Shirk. And Shirk is brought down inside the 10, and we'll see where they spot it. Mark Murphy.
You know, we were just saying, Vin, when you get down in this area, you have to be able to run or work to a tight end. And, you know, had Shirk run that pattern deeper and got into the end zone, of course, he would have had a touchdown. Just go 5 more yards. Get in the end zone, because that's their problem. This is tough from the 5-yard line.
2nd and 2 from the 5. Carey and Taylor with Perkins in motion. And they'll go to Billy Taylor. And Taylor is right near the plane of the goal line. And he has broken it. Touchdown. And how sweet that must be for Billy Taylor, who no doubt was wearing some horns after the fumble last week, and then the fumble the first time he had his hands on the ball today.
I think how sweet it is for the Giants. I know probably the worst thing that could have happened in this situation is have to kick a field goal. But let's watch it here. They stay low. He gets a good lead block. He gets a good lead block by Leon Perry right there. They get the Redskin defense going back, and then right there the ball breaks the plane of the goal line for a touchdown.
Well, now Joe Danello out of a hole by Scott Brunner to try and tie it up. The kick is up and good. So with 1 minute and 51 seconds left in the third quarter at RFK Stadium, the Giants 7, Washington 7, and we're shaping up.
Yes.
What happens if we go? What happens if we go into double?
Yeah,
No,
that's what
they didn't. They weren't in a goal line offense. No, they didn't. They wouldn't do that probably until the 2-yard line. Yeah, they probably would have done it on the next down.
Okay.
Do you have anything on the Giants sideline that looks like tired, you know, hot, long day, dry, frustrated, happy? Oh, no camera, huh? Well, we got some. Good.
10 seconds.
Oh, with 1:51 left in the third, we're all even 7-7. And Joe Danello kicking from the Giant 35-yard line. Terry Metcalf is deep. Wilbur Jackson on his left and Mike Nelms on his right. And Metcalf will take it at about the 3. To the 15, 20, 25, and down he goes. Byron Hunt hit him and dropped him as he crossed the 25. A reminder. You like tennis, John?
Yeah.
I would love to see you jump over the net. The United States Open Tennis Championship men's final. McEnroe and Boyd coming up following the game.
Yeah, I went out there Wednesday night. I watched some of that. Yeah, very interesting.
Do you play at all?
Very little. I don't play too well, but the thing that surprised me about the crowd, they're quiet there. They don't talk. People don't walk when they're playing. Nothing. Who?
First and 10.
For a while, man.
Didn't they have to throw a couple of guys out the other day, though, for hollering and fighting? Play action fake by Theismann. Down the right side to Harmon, no good. Lawrence Taylor, Harry Carson, Brian Kelly, and Terry Jackson. The Giants holding a team meeting there.
Or half a defensive team meeting there, but you see, that's one thing that Lawrence Taylor could do. Ray Perkins was saying in practice one time, He covered a wide receiver 48 yards down the field and knocked the ball down.
Wow. They cut the wide receiver?
They cut the wide receiver, and they moved Taylor to offense for a day.
Well, Atlanta finally got on. They took a field goal to make it Green Bay's game yet, 17-3. Theismann to Monk and dropped by Courier. Bill Courier had it in his hands after it went through Art Munn's hand.
He had it in his hands, and I think that would have been a touchdown. Now we'll watch. Here you see Monk up there in the inset. See, he's going to run up, and he's going to run an out pattern. He'll run there, stop, then he's going to work out towards the sideline and work back, but the ball is too high. He's working back. The ball's up over his head, right through his hand, hangs there for, those are the kinds you dream about, Vin. Those defensive backs at night, they dream about those. Just let me have one.
That's if you can sleep.
If you can sleep.
3rd and 10 on the Washington 28. In motion is Don Warren, the tight end. Theismann to Harmon, who is dropped shy of the 30-yard line, hit by Van Pelt and Carson.
I'll tell you, there's my pet peeve. I hate 3rd down. If you're going to throw the ball, throw it up beyond the first down marker. It doesn't do any good to complete on 3rd and 10 to complete a 2-yard pass. You still have to punt.
Buffalo did a number on the Jets last week, and they're leading Baltimore 21-3 at the half. Houston and Cleveland in a battle of field goals. Houston leading 6-3 in the 4th. 4th and 8. Mike Connell kicking from the 20-yard line. The Giants are coming. It's partially blocked. It was Byron Hunt, I believe, who blocked it, and the ball is finally picked up. But of course, it cannot be advanced by the kicking team, so Mel Kaufman will be brought back. But Byron Hunt, the kid from SMU, whose brother is Sam Hunt with the New England Patriots.
Watch him again. He comes right up the middle, right into the face of Connell. Now that can't be a roughing because he tipped the ball. Had he not touched the ball, that would have been a roughing penalty. We see Connell, look at that, on his head, legs up in the air, spread out, but he tipped the ball.
So suddenly things are going the Giants' way. The Nelms fumble recovered by Frank Marion, and now Hunt blocking the punt. And they pitch back to Leon Perry. He's at midfield and finally brought down in Washington territory. Kaufman and Mark Murphy are there. Let's get another report in that 4th quarter. We just gave it to you a moment ago. 6-3 in favor of Houston. Kansas City has forged back out in front. 16-10 over Tampa Bay in the 4th.
They may be the most improved team in the National Football League.
Really?
Yeah. I think Kansas City or maybe Green Bay.
2nd and 2. The ball is on the Washington 47-yard line. And we have just about run out of time, and now we have officially. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score Washington 7, the Giants 7. We'll pause for a word from your local station. No.
They wanted to do some things with him. I haven't even seen.
He's got a sore shoulder.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him anywhere.
Yeah, got a shoulder. Remember, he was doing all the punt returning last week.
Yeah.
Now he's not even on the field.
Tony, somewhere, old Tim Stokes had a tough first half, but he may have settled down this half, so maybe we can balance it if we have something.
Yeah, good point. Be nice. 2nd and 2 for the Giants on the Skins 47-yard line at the start of the 4th quarter, and the ball game deadlocked 7-7. Washington driving for its touchdown on a couple of big passes to Art Monk and 2 to Ricky Thompson, and the second pass to Thompson was good with a touchdown. But suddenly the Giants were fortunate. Mike Nelms, trying to field a punt with one hand, fielded it and then fumbled. The punt was recovered by Frank Marion, and the Giants scored. Billy Taylor punched it over, and now on a partially blocked punt by Byron Hunt, the Giants take over, and they have it 2nd and 2 on the Washington 47 at the start of the 4th quarter. Slot left, Freedy and Perkins in the slot. Second man is Billy Taylor. Taylor got down to about the 42-yard line, which is plenty for a first down. What's new with the Rams and New Orleans? Well, New Orleans on a 23-yarder from Bobby Scott to Wes Chandler. Meanwhile, Atlanta now waking up a little bit. 2-yard run by William Andrews. 17-10 Green Bay. 1st and 10 from the 42. Slot right. Billy Taylor. Diving maybe to the 41-yard line. He worked hard to purchase 1 yard.
I think maybe, one thing we were talking about Tim Stokes early in the first half, number 74, and it looks like he's calmed down this second half. He's getting off, on the regular starting count. He's blocking in there against Brooks. He gets a little movement, and of course there's no hole there, but Stokes looks like he's starting to settle down and do a pretty good job there.
It is 2nd and 9 for the Giants on the Washington 41. Play action fake by Sims. Throwing in a crowd, and a great reception by the tight end Gary Shirk. And a perfectly thrown ball as Kevin Turner finally makes the hit inside the 25-yard line. That's the second big catch for Shirk.
I think Sims did that. I think he went in at halftime and he said, "That's over. I'm coming out in a new half." Because watch his throw. We can see Shirk there. He doesn't have a lot of area to throw that ball, and that pass had to be a perfect pass, and it was.
Well, he rolled a while, so they're going to spot it on the Washington 24-yard line. 1st and 10. Freedy and Perkins go left, but Taylor's going to run outside. Got by Mendenhall and spins inside the 20-yard line. Mark Murphy, the center fielder in the defense, came up to hit him.
I think this is what we were talking about that the Giants have to do. You can't pass all the time, nor can you run all the time on first down or any other down. You have to have mixture, and they look like, along with field position, that they have it going now.
So it is 2nd and 5. The ball is on the Skins 19-yard line. Freedy and Perkins left, and Tom Mulledy, they tell us he has a broken bone in his hand, but he's the tight end on the right side. Broken bone or no. Billy Taylor's trying to cut, and Olkowitz wrapped him up with Kevin Turner. For a moment he had some daylight, and they filled it in nicely, did Olkowitz and Turner.
Yeah, we saw Mulledy there, and it does look like he has a broken hand, but I think on that reception, I think that Shirk may have hurt himself, and of course they only have the 2 tight ends.
He's
and if
coming
Shirk
back
can't
in
play,
now, John.
Mulledy has to.
So Shirk is back in, along with...
Now there'll be 2 tight ends, and this is where
you know
George
who the tight
Martin
end is? George Martin.
George Martin, the defensive end, comes in along with Shirk and Mulledy.
And they put them both, well, they had them both on the right side. Now they move Mulledy over with Shirk. Straight ahead is Leon Perry. Just a question of spotting the ball. It would appear as if he made the first down.
Yep.
He did. Take a look at that again. Martin is the tight end on the right side, but they go the other way.
They bring motion, so they had their strength on this side. We see the lead block there.
Billy
Did you
Taylor.
See Billy Taylor lead right there, and we see Leon Perry right in behind him. The little dive over for the first down.
1st and 10 on the Skins 14-yard line.
I think the Redskins took timeout.
Washington, that's the first timeout.
Mark Murphy, who is a defensive captain, is coming to the sidelines. No doubt wants to get a few things squared away. 7-7 with 11:10 left in the game. Kiss your flight goodbye. And we'll go right through U.S. Open tennis.
Block it completely.
You got that one.
Would
in
that
your
be
heart.
terrible? Hawk. Hawk. All right.
You mean the Giants aren't going to score here, Tony? Let me see what's going on over there on the Giants sideline. Give me.
10 seconds. Stand by. 5 seconds.
Tonight on CBS, look at this lineup. 60 Minutes, the 33rd Annual Emmy Awards, and one day at a time. Well, these two clubs playing it one play at a time now for sure, because with 11 minutes left, the Giants in great field position. They have it 1st and 10 on the 14. Freedy and Perkins left. Taylor and Perry in the backfield. Gary Shirk is the tight end, and it's Billy Taylor spinning across the 10, and Mel Kaufman drops him at about the 9-yard line.
Did you see who led that block, Vin? That was Tim Stokes on that. It was a tackle trap. You don't see that very often. Most of the time on trap plays, the guards are the trapping linemen, and on that play, it was the left tackle, Tim Stokes, who pulled and opened the hole.
Though Stokes, as you mentioned, appears to have settled down, and suddenly in a crash course, he's starting to feel at home. 2nd and 5 on the 8. Freedy goes left, Perkins goes wide right, and Shirk is in motion, and Leon Perry in a foot race, grabbed by Kaufman and brought down out of bounds, running laterally just about at the line of scrimmage.
And he isn't going to beat Kaufman in a foot race. That's one thing that rookie Mel Kaufman has, is speed.
There's your graph on rushing, John. Not too much of a discrepancy now.
No, it's getting closer, and we can see when the Giants didn't have anything going, they had no rushing. Now as that blue line is starting to rise, so is their success.
So 3rd and 3, the ball is on the 7-yard line. Shirk, the tight end, is on the left side this time. Taylor and Perry, and Perkins in motion. Sims going too low. It was intended for the tight end on the left side, Gary Shirk, who was guarded nicely by Tony Peters. Meanwhile, for one brief shining moment, it was Camelot for Green Bay, but look at that. Atlanta has caught them on a 30-yard pass. Steve Bartkowski to Alfred Jenkins.
That's what I said earlier, that Atlanta has too many great players on offense to be held down. This is Joe Dinello's first shot. I saw him yesterday. He said he'd like to kick 5 today.
Well, he'll get a shot at 1.
Well, here's 1, and he better hurry up to get 4 more.
The spot at the 15, the hole by Scott Bruner. 25-yard field goal is up. It is good. So Joe Dinello, look out, fight on the field. It is Neil Olkowitz. Neil Olkowitz, the middle linebacker, and Ernie Hughes, the center, are being separated.
You see who was out there? The holder, Scott Bruner, was out there trying to break it up.
That's no place for a holder to be.
Those quarterbacks usually get out of the way.
Neil Olkowitz a little hot, trying to knock a syllable out of Hughes. Yeah, just a matter of time.
Look, Dinello's in there too, but he's not.
Yeah, look at Hughes wants to choke him now.
Yeah, where is Dinello?
Look at Bruner.
I know it. Well,
yeah,
look at Bruner. Look, he gets in there, the holder. Look, he's the guy that ends up breaking it up.
Who is that he's first started out with? Is that 87? Is that Shirk?
That was Shirk.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
right.
It was Shirk.
Yeah, okay.
10 seconds. Stand by.
With 10:20 left in the game, the Giants have taken a 10-7 lead. Metcalf is deep on the goal line with Nelms at the 10, but it'll be Terry Metcalf from 2 yards in the end zone. Behind a little wedge. He's going to be boxed in and got away from Jackson, and Beasley Reese neckties him at about the 17-yard line. It doesn't tell you about the fact that Byron Hunt partially blocked the punt, and it led to the 25-yard field goal. But here's the fight. Neil Olkowitz and Gary Shirk. Now Ernie Hughes comes over to be the peacemaker, and suddenly he's holding on to Olkowitz, and Olkowitz gets mad at Hughes. Jarris White comes over to try and calm things down. Scott Bruner, the quarterback, came over to take a look.
He came over to take a look, which they usually do, and he ended up breaking it up.
Joe Danello is a wise head. He was long gone.
Kickers and quarterbacks usually get off the field.
1st and 10 from the 17. Theismann, a little release to Wilbur Jackson, and on the screen, Wilbur is on the move. It's across the 25-yard line, very close to a first down. Jeff Bostic, the center, throwing a good block to help him. And New Orleans forging back after Pat Hayden had passed to Preston Denard. It is now New Orleans 23, Los Angeles 17. And Buffalo holding on to that 21-3. Joe Ferguson's latest touchdown, a 5-yard pass to Mark Brammer. And a player, that's Harry Carson, shaken up. And Wilbur Jackson, who caught that little release, kind of a safety valve pass, Jackson was shaken up. The Giants are leading 10-7, 9:44 left in the game. What's left, John? We haven't seen the well, we did see the flood once.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to character, and this would be part of it, coming from behind, huh?
Yeah, that could be. The other thing is, we were talking about the tired, and I think that it looks like the intensity is picking up as they get tired.
Yeah. Fulton Kuykendall, they call him Captain Crazy down there in Georgia, just ran a 20-yard interception for a touchdown. Atlanta leading 24-17. 1st and 10 Skins on the Washington 27. Theismann going to the left side. He's got Metcalf at midfield, and Terry is into Giant territory at the 49.
We talked in the first half how the heat and how warm it was and so on, but now in the last quarter, the intensity of this game has seemed to pick up. It looks like they're going a little harder. The tackling is crisper. Everyone looks a little quicker right now. And again, he hit Metcalf right in the hole in the zone between the linebackers and the secondary.
So it is 1st and 10 Washington on the Giant 49. In motion is Metcalf. Wilbur Jackson, the setback, trying to get outside, and he is stacked up. Don Warren, the tight end, had just too many blue shirts to block. He got some help from May, but it wasn't enough, and the play broke down. And Warren helped up by Lawrence Taylor.
One that played that well was Phil Tabor, the right defensive end. Mark May was trying to block him, and he just took Mark May and put him in the backfield, and there was no cut for Jackson.
Don Warren, after that skirmish, the tight end comes out, so does Terry Metcalf. Art Monk comes back in, along with Greg McCrary and Virgil Say. So the running backs are Jackson and Harmon. Theismann down the right side, and Art Monk stepped out of bounds, or was he out of bounds when he caught the ball? They're going to call him back. And I believe he stepped out while catching the ball, so it is no completion.
Well, no, but Joe Theismann watches Monk all the way. Look, he's looking to his right the whole way. Haynes was on him. He broke away from Haynes, and he hit right over his head, and that left foot was on the sideline.
And then for good measure, he turned, and the right came out as well. That was a good call.
It was a good call because when he caught the ball, his left foot was out of bounds.
So 3rd and 10 on the Giant 49. But suddenly now a couple of receivers have been wide open. Metcalf was open, and of course Monk would have been, except for the fact he stepped out.
Mark Haynes, the quarterback, wasn't real close on the coverage, but he was the first one there to point to the official that his foot was out of bounds.
Monk goes right, Virgil Say goes left. Harmon and Jackson. And the ball is wobbly thrown and dropped because they were all over Joe Theismann. Right now for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburg up the road in New York. Okay, Brent, on a 4th and 10, Mike Connell having to punt, and he hit it up in the clouds. There's no chance for, they'll just let the ball bounce and go into the end zone, and the Giants will take over, and there's a little more fisticuffs on the field. This time it is Joe McLaughlin, and he's battling young Darrell Grant, but they break it up. So tempers are getting as hot as the weather. It's about 92, and it is 10-7 Giants with 7:45 left.
Yeah, let's see it.
Is that
Yeah,
Dexter
there's
Manley?
3 guys. Yeah, there's 3. There's
Is that
3.
something?
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah,
What a horse. Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
All right, please ask Bob to lower his volume. That's just absolutely painful. That's a little better. It's a killer. It really is a killer. Oh, I get you. Yeah, I've got the thing almost off my head, and it's still piercing. Yeah, people in the lower deck are turning and looking up to find out who's making the noise.
They're upset.
The Giants put it in play, 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line, leading 10-7 with 7:45 left in the game. Freedy comes left, Perkins goes right, Shirk is the tight end on the right side, and they have Coder and Matthews behind Sims. It'll be Coder. And Coder gets out to the 25-yard line, so he purchased 5. Question now of whether the Giants can hold on to the ball and get a drive going on their own. The other 2 is the defense.
There's Olkowitz. He always leads his team in tackles. He did last year and he did last week. And you know, on both sides of him at the linebackers, he has 2 rookies now. Mel Kaufman, and of course Kevin Turner's not a rookie, but they just got him from the Giants, 2nd-year man.
2nd and 5 at the 25-yard line. In motion is Perkins. And Doug Coder maybe got a yard or 2, but Coy Bacon is furious at himself because Bacon had a shot about 3 yards behind the line, and he just did slither by him. He might be getting a little tired.
I think he's also upset with someone else that one of the Giants he thought maybe held him. So he was upset that what was that, slithered? That's a good word. I never slithered anywhere in my life.
There's Coy, 14 years out of Jackson State. He was in 3 Pro Bowls. It is 3rd and 3 from the Giant 27. Sims looking for Coder. Coy Bacon broke it up and caught it and dropped it. Coy Bacon, they're going to argue that he had held it and fumbled it and it was recovered, but I think the officials are just going to rule it an incomplete pass.
Now watch Coy Bacon here again. He's to the left. He's against Tim Stokes. He starts in there right outside the screen. Now he comes up, and that's what a good lineman does. When the offensive man goes to cut him, he goes up to jump up. He did, tipped it, and Coy's saying, I wish I would have caught that one, but I'm just wearing too many pads in my hands.
Say one thing, he's anything but coy out there, huh? Dave Jennings gets it away a little bit low, however. It'll be fielded by Mike Nelms from the 21 to the 35. And down he goes. Brian Kelly is on top of him. And now Washington has 6 minutes, plenty of time, and in reasonably good field position, as they will put it in play 1st and 10 on their own 37-yard line. Don't forget, immediately following the game, the finals, United States Open Tennis Championships for the men's championship. John McEnroe be on board. First and 10 on the Washington 37, Kansas City leading Tampa Bay 19-10. It's going to go to Wilbur Jackson, and the pass is partially deflected.
It was partially deflected by his right tackle, George Stark. Stark was out there on a screen, and and there was a blitz. Brad Van Pelt came, and Theismann threw the ball, and it hit George Stark right between the 7 and the 4 in the back.
Well, Theismann, with 48 passes last week, has thrown it 32 times. Meanwhile, Sims has thrown 6 for 24. 2nd and 10 on the Skins 37. Theismann down the left side, intercepted by Courier. Courier was down, and a flag, so hold everything. The Giants are acting like there might have been pass interference. Let's see.
I think it's against the Redskins, Finn. I think it'll be the Giants' ball.
Right.
Let's see what happens. See, it's a little roll now. I think if he would have thrown to the intermediate guy right there in front, it may have been there, but he's throwing to the deeper man, and of course Courier was there for the interception.
Interception wipes it away. 1st and 10. And the Giants have the ball in good position on their own 44, leading by 3. A sellout crowd at RFK, but that's nothing new. 109 consecutive sellouts here. 1st and 10, Giant 44. Uh-oh. Now let's see. Coder moved in the backfield, and Coy Bacon took off after him. But I think Coder was the one who came up and started towards the line. Maybe it was someone up front as well.
Look at them arguing on both sides. Bacon is pointing one way, and we have the JT Turner in there pointing the other side.
Offense.
That's poor Tim Stokes.
Tim Stokes. And it was right behind him was Coder, so he was probably watching Stokes and instinctively moved. And look at that. Bum Phillips has done it, and the Saints can take off the bags off the faces of the fans. It's 23-17 New Orleans. Final.
Give him to L.A.
Holy mackerel. Give him to L.A. Have to put sequins on him.
Yeah, they'll tell him, take these bags home with you.
1st and 15 on the 38. Complete to Gary Shirk. Tony Peters brings him down at about the same line of scrimmage.
And Sims is saying someone has to block someone inside because I can't take too many more of those. Did you see that? Perry Brooks again came right up the middle and was hanging around Sims's neck as he threw that last one.
Talking about saying I can't take many more of those, that's what Doug Coder had to say. He was just driven to his knees on that rush. That's Gordy King, number 72, and Sims coming back into the huddle has a 2nd and 11. The ball is on the Giant 43. 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. The Giants, who came in here the underdogs, leading 10-7 on a fumble recovery and a partially blocked kick. Perry and Taylor staying in. The pass is blocked by number 69, Perry Brooks. He's 6'3" and got his hands up.
They're having a little trouble in there with Brooks on the pass protection, and sometimes it's J.T. Turner and sometimes it's Ernie Hughes, the center, because they're just allowing too much penetration, and that's tough for Sims.
I love the way you said he's having a little trouble. That's like saying the Titanic had a rough voyage. It is 3rd and 11 on the Giant 43.
You know, it's hard to say they're having a lot of trouble in there blocking Perry Brooks when he comes up the middle.
3rd and 11. Perry stays in to block. And the pass is to Freedy. And Freedy makes the reception to the Washington 35-yard line. Jarris White knocks him down, but what a big play on 3rd down with 5.5 minutes left.
And you know why it was a big play? He got it up past the 1st down marker. But look at this pass protection. Look, see, he can step up there now and throw the ball. Butts comes in late, the ball's gone, there's no one there, and then Freedy can go to work on Joe Lavender.
And I'll tell you one thing, it was Tim Stokes who rode Bacon away from him, and that's why he had that time.
He sure did.
The 1st and 10 on the Washington 36. John Missler is wide left. Perkins has been in motion all day. He's got to be exhausted. And Billy Taylor spinning, and Mark Murphy takes him down with a hard tackle. You think John Perkins is getting a little discouraged? All they keep saying to Perkins is go in motion.
I know that has to be tough because, of course, the field is 53 yards wide, and when you run from one end to the other, you've run 50 yards before you gain a yard. So if you run a 25-yard pattern and you add 50 yards to it, that's 75, and then you have to go back, that's 25, that's 100.
That's too much.
Just keep adding. You got a calculator. There are other things he has.
You need an odometer. Johnny Perkins, number 86, has spent this 90-degree day running from one side of the field to the other. He's in a slot left. On a quick handoff, they get out across the 30-yard line as Leon Perry was following a block by J.T. Turner in the center, Ernie Hughes.
And now this is a big down for the Giants. We see there's 4 minutes to go, and one of the things that's important here is ball control, that they keep it and don't let the Redskins have it back.
So on a fumble recovery, a partially blocked punt, and an interception, the Giant defense has really handled the ball to the offense. This is a 3rd and 4 from the 30. Perkins right, Missler left, and look out. Kevin Turner's going to eat him up at the 35-yard line. There's so much for that play on a 3rd and 4.
That was going to be a bootleg. We see Simms' frustration. It didn't work. Kevin Turner was telling Simms, he said, you know, I played with you. I was in your training camp. I know those plays. You aren't going to fool me. Try and fool the kid on the other side, Mel Kaufman, because he's from Cal Poly.
And then he had a nerve to help him up and pat him on the back.
He said, yeah, that's
Great
what Simms
call.
is saying. Hey, look, why against Turner? He knows the plays. Bruner's saying, yeah, he forgot him.
Yeah. 4th and 8 on the 34. He forgot him all right. And Dave Jennings will try and kick one out. Mike Nelms is deep on the 10 on the left side, and Terry Metcalf is on the right. Jennings standing back at the 50.
Waiting for a pooch. He's going to take
flag.
too much time. He wanted too much time here, Vin. He wants to get the ball back where he'll have a better angle to get it out inside the 10.
Rather than kick it into the end zone.
Yeah, see, he's going to get on the headset and talk. I don't know who he would talk to that would tell him, Dave, why don't you pooch it? Don't punt it.
Yeah.
Don't get it. Try and pooch it inside the 10.
Hey, John,
or Dave, Dave, or hit it out of bounds inside the 10. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, or he says wrong number. Yeah. All right, Jennings got it all squared away now. Laces up, bombs away. 4th and 8 from the 34. What a punter, Dave Jennings. And Mike Connell has done well. So it's been a battle of the punters, but wait a minute.
They didn't mark off the penalty.
They refused it.
Oh, yeah, the Redskins refused the penalty because they knew what the Giants were trying to do. So all that talk we had with Jennings didn't do any good. The Redskins didn't take the penalty. Smart. That's good.
4th and 8 with 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Let's see if Dave can get it out of bounds. Nope. So after all of that, Dave Jennings, a very frustrated punter. He tried to get it out inside the 10, but he kicked it into the end zone despite that long distance call. Take another look at the punt. In fact, you didn't even have to look at the ball. If you just watch Jennings, you know that he did not do what he wanted to do.
No, right now, we know that. See the hands, and he said I should have pooched it.
Yeah. Well, there'd be a lot of frustration and a lot of joy shared by one and then by the other. United States Open Tennis Championships upcoming, McEnroe and Borg. With 2:57, 1st and 10 for the Skins on their 20. Theismann deep to Ricky Thompson. And he made the reception OB at the 45. No good.
I tell you, that was awfully close, though, and that's the play that the Redskins need now. They need something. Of course, they have plenty of time with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, but they need something to get them out of this field position up to midfield. You see what happened? The ball just went boom right out of there.
So it is 2nd and 10 at the 20. 2:50. And Atlanta now has found the combination to the Green Bay safe. 31-17. Fumble returned by Joel Williams. 55 yards for the latest touchdown. 2nd and 10. Theismann gets belted. He got hit by Tabor. It's picked up by Martin, and Martin scores a touchdown. It was Phil Tabor who hit him, and it was Martin who carried it over. How do you do? And look at Joe Theismann. He never saw Tabor.
No, he didn't see him because that's from the blind side. You know, Tabor has really been playing well for this team, and Joe Theismann said, I can't do anything about that one, but watch him come. See, he's turned to the right. You see Tabor come from his back. He doesn't see him, and when he gets hit, the ball pops out. George Martin saying, I haven't had one of these things in years. Let's see if I still remember what to do with it. Take it in the end zone.
By the way, it is George Martin's 4th touchdown in his career. So he's had his share of them.
Well, you know, because he's a tight end on short yardage and goal line offense.
Danilo gets it up. Flag on the play. Look at Tabor hitting Theismann now, John.
This is the thing. Now, again, watch. He can't see. See, he can see Martin coming. He's looking downfield to his right. Look, he's just getting ready to throw. Now what? Right. Ooh, I didn't see it. What happened? Oh.
Oh, it is 17-7 in favor of the Giants, thanks to the defense. Fumble recovery, partially blocked kick, and now the sack. All right, do I have to put audio on him, or are you just going to punch him up? Don't forget, immediately after the game, McEnroe and Borg for the men's final in the United States Open Tennis Championships. We are 2 minutes and 43 seconds away from the end of the game, and the Giants, thanks to some great defensive plays, are leading the Redskins 17-7 after a scoreless first half. There was motion penalty against Washington when that point after was made, so you can see Danilo teed the ball up on the 40-yard line.
He's smiling. He says, watch this one fly into the end zone.
Terry Metcalf is deep, and Metcalf has to go in the end zone to handle it, and he's going to take it out. And he is squeezed as he got across the 15-yard line. Marion and Jackson, but there are flags on the play. Frank Marion, number 51, of course, made a big play. It got the Giants really started.
The Redskins have to go right back on offense. They'll have that return plus a penalty tacked on, and they're going to be backed up right against that goal line, staring at about 94 yards, 96 yards.
Number 88, high illegal block.
That's Rick Walker, who played under Eagles coach Dick Vermeil when he was at UCLA.
That sounds like some kind of dive or something. High illegal block.
or an advertising concern? Look at Kansas City beat Tampa Bay 19-10. Buffalo 28, Baltimore 3 in the third quarter. 1st and 10 from the 4. So Theismann 96 yards away, but he's down by 10. Martin crawling to get at him. The pass is to Wilbur Jackson, and Van Pelt and Kelly finally bring him down along with Courier. Bring him down as he got across the 10-yard line. They'll spot it at the 13.
The Redskins will go without a huddle here. They want to play before the 2-minute warning.
Theismann to Jackson again. Same play, same result. Van Pelt and Kelly bring him down at the 15. That's just about a first down. And we're coming to the 2-minute warning. So it is a first down. We can duck in some scores. That awesome San Diego ball club that chewed up Cleveland, well, they are leading Detroit 7-0 in the first quarter.
They'll have to stop Billy Sims all day, though, man.
I can hear the horns on Bourbon Street as New Orleans upset the Rams, and I can hear the hollering in Anaheim. 23-17, New Orleans. Houston in a battle of field goals, leading Cleveland 9-3. Tony Fritsch kicked 3. Jacobs kicked 1 for Cleveland.
You know, George Rogers had 162 yards in that game.
Well, they said he wasn't an Earl Campbell, but 162, that certainly smacks of that style.
He played like him today, I'm sure. Now, Joe Theismann and Joe Gibbs are talking here, and again, those last 2 completions were about 4 and 5 yards, and they have the first down now, and they'd like to get out into some safe areas so that they can start working the ball deeper, and he knows that he has to get the ball up the field a little more, and 2 minutes is plenty of time.
You know, CBS Sports Saturday brings you great racing. Pleasant Colony expected to continue his quest for Horse of the Year honors at the Marlboro Cup, and you'll see the World Individual Speedway Motorcycle Championship from London, England. Be here for the action next week, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central and Pacific on CBS Sports Saturday. What do you think about motorcycles, John?
I was thinking about the situation here. Motorcycles, I kind of engulf motorcycles. I like to be inside, have a roof over my head.
Well, it is 1st and 10 on the Skins 18. Theismann looking and now going left, and the catch made by Harmon, who is immediately driven out of bounds by Bill Courier.
Okay, Joe Theismann has to get a little excited here and again get something up the field because he has to think in terms of 2 scores. Get one and then boom, an onside kick and get another one. He can't mess around a lot down in this area of the field.
He has 1 minute and 53 seconds. We have a final score. Atlanta took a while, but they finally put Green Bay away 31-17, and Houston knocks off Cleveland 9-3, and Cleveland is 0-2.
Great start for Houston, 2-0.
2nd and 4. Theismann all alone is Harmon, getting out of bounds at the 30-yard line. They got it up to the 31, actually, and that'll be a first down. By the way, a tip of the hat, our executive producer of NFL football is Terry O'Neill. The senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. Today's game produced by Robert Stenner, directed by Tony Verna. Our thanks to Jason Shrinsky for his help in the booth, and to Dr. Bob Woods for all of his statistical help. And thanks to all the fellas who worked so hard and long to get the show on the road. Nice going, guys. 1st and 10 on the 31. Theismann looking at Harmon. They set a screen up for him to the 35 and tripped up by Brian Kelly and falls forward to about the 37 as the clock runs down.
You know, again, the Redskins have to think in terms of 10 points here. What they should try and do is get in position to kick a field goal, kick it, then go for the onside kick.
2nd and 4 for Theismann, deep down the left side, and it is made by Ricky Thompson. Flag on the play as Thompson made the reception. Terry Jackson was the man who hit him.
Now watch, we're going to see what happened here, Ben. Watch this. They start off and they're up there real tight, playing man-to-man, not letting them off the line of scrimmage, and then they go into a zone. Jackson is waiting back here. Now watch what happens. See, Thompson makes his cut. He's going to the sideline, and boom,
That was
see
defensive
Jackson.
pass interference. Refused the penalty, give him the catch, and it's first down.
I was just telling them about it, Ben, because what happened is Jackson came in and hit Thompson before the ball got there, Ben.
He's
Thanks.
been listening to you, John.
Huh?
That's terrific. I wondered what that thing in his ear was. 1st and 10 on the Giants 46. Art Monk in a slot left inside Thompson. And dropped by Virgil Say. The little man was wide open, and Brad Van Pelt was there, and Say couldn't hold it.
Now watch this. This was Joe Theismann's 43rd pass today in this game, Vin, and that one was good enough. Say should have had this one. But watch him here. We see Taylor coming from the outside. He gets it. He finds Say, which is tough. He's only 5'8". Zips it in there. Down goes Theismann. Ooh.
That was Lawrence Taylor, who was fighting Wilbur Jackson to the death and finally got in there to get him.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
No, he did.
2nd and 10 on the Giant 46. Theismann, wobbly pass, and Harmon makes a good catch right away from Harry Carson.
And there's a flag out there, Vin, and I'm sure that's against the Redskins. It's in the area of holding.
1:08 left in the game. 17-7 Giants.
You know, that could have been exciting. Had Say caught that pass, he could have been, they would have been in field goal range. They could have kicked the field goal, gone back, kicked an onside kick, got it, and then gone for the end zone.
And he didn't catch it.
Well, they didn't catch it, so it came back to the line of scrimmage. Then they had a play, and it was complete and holding, as we see here.
Holding, number 73.
That's Mark May, the rookie out of Pittsburgh.
Offensive left tackle wouldn't have been a fun position to have played today.
Oh, no.
Now those guys, you know, it's tough. You play in there, you're in there, it's hot, sweaty, a lot of guys in there, you know. And the only time your name is ever mentioned is when you hold or jump offside.
2nd and 20. The ball back on the Washington 44-yard line. Theismann looking down the left side and releasing. Great catch by Wilbur Jackson. He's at the 45 and carries it to the 40-yard line with 57 seconds and counting.
I'd still do that. I'd go for one more play, get a play in there and kick a field goal right now and then go on to win the game. Onside kick and win it.
It's 3rd and 4 on the Giant 40. And that is Otis Wansley, and he's hit by Courier. He dropped the ball after the whistle as Kelly fell on it, but it won't count. So the reception is made very close. Should be a first down if they spot it at the 35. And timeout Washington.
That's a first down.
And it is a first down with 37 seconds left in the game. Let's just see some numbers a moment. For Joe Theismann, after coming off a 48 pass game, he's now 25 for 45, 285, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. For the Giants, Sims is 8 for 26, 93 yards, 1 interception. Boy, that's a lot of passes. 48 last week and 45 today.
That is, in 2 games, he's played about a half a season throwing. Get next week there.
San Francisco at Atlanta. Folks in the nation's capital will see Washington at St. Louis. People in New York will see New Orleans at the Giants. And then across the country, a lot of people are going to see Green Bay at Los Angeles. And both of them are rankling, having been defeated today. New Orleans knocked off the Rams, and Green Bay living in a fool's paradise, leading Atlanta. And finally, Atlanta knocked them off. Denver leading Seattle 3-0 in the first quarter. That's a 30-yard field goal from John Steinfurt. 1st and 10 Washington on the Giant 35 with 37 seconds left. Theismann throwing to Harmon, and Harry Carson brings him down just about the 25-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down, but of course they're kind of giving him that stuff underneath.
They are. Now would be the time to kick the field goal. Wonder if they're thinking of that. Kick the field goal, the onside kick, because you have to think in terms of 2 scores, not 1.
They're not thinking that way at all. Theismann is looking for his man. He's going to throw it OB. Virgil Say was in the neighborhood. So that stops the clock with 13 seconds left.
Yeah, this happens a lot. Then when you need a combination of 2 scores, they spend the whole game, the time runs out working on the first one, and maybe taking a shot, boom, get one, and then try and get another one because you need 2.
So Ray Perkins was talking about how he felt the Giants would be able to beat Washington, as you see Dallas leading 7-0. Ron Springs scoring from 1 yard out against St. Louis. And it looks like Perkins has pulled it off. Theismann all alone is Rick Walker, and Walker's down at about the 1. Beasley Reese hit him and prevented him from going in. And with 5 seconds, it looks like it's going to be academic anyway, John.
But it will. They'll have to spend this 5 seconds now getting the ball in the end zone.
17-7 in favor of the Giants. They came down here an underdog of maybe a touchdown or thereabouts. But for Joe Gibbs, a bitter disappointment, a fellow with a reputation of being an excellent offensive-minded coach, and to see his team sputter and shut out for the first half, it was small consolation to him that the Giants were doing the same, I'm sure.
It was, and I'm sure that in his game plan today that he had a lot of things that he wanted to do with both Joe Washington and John Riggins, and he lost both of them. Joe Washington on the second play of the game.
That's right. That's a big one. And they lost Monty Coleman in one of his linebacker spot. Ray Perkins, meanwhile, had his defense win it for him. Remember, Frank Marion recovered the fumble, and the Giants took it in. There was the partially blocked punt by Byron Hunt. And then finally you had Phil Tabor sack Theismann, who fumbled, and the ball was picked up by George Martin. So the defense did it all, really.
Right, and I felt that Phil Simms really in the first half had a tough time, but in the second half he came out and seemed to have a lot more composure and confidence.
First and goal from the 1. Otis Wansley is in there now with Clarence Harmon, and they'll try Wansley, but the Giants, they all come over to congratulate him on a great career with Washington, and they do it before he can get in the end zone. Now this is Vin Scully speaking for John Madden, saying so long from RFK Stadium. Once again, the final score, Giants 17, Washington 7. Stay with us. CBS Sports presents the finals of the men's singles of the U.S. Open Tennis Championship from Flushing Meadow, New York. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League. The National Football League is a presentation of CBS Sports.
See you in a month.
All right, John.